Okay, let's do the clown. Usha's just coming in. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. My name is Shannon, and I'm a Mitra here at the Triratna Buddhist Order. Today, I'm going to talk to you about spiritual friendship in Buddhism, in Triratna, and I'll be discussing the Buddhist stance on spiritual friendship, also Bhante Sangharakshita's views as well. Sangharakshita is the founder of the Triratna Buddhist Order, and I'll also talk about how important a role spiritual friendship has been in my life. Firstly, what do I mean by spiritual friendship? This refers to a type of friendship that is based on a shared commitment to spiritual practice, growth, and awakening, where people encourage each other to develop spiritually and live a virtuous life. The Buddha said that spiritual friendship is the whole of the spiritual life. And Sangharakshita placed a very high premium on all types of spiritual friends. He placed great value on what he called horizontal friendships and vertical friendships. Vertical friendships is where there's a relationship between a more experienced practitioner, for example, an order member, and the less experienced practitioner, a newcomer. These kinds of relationships are commonly encouraged in this order. I know quite a few order members who have great friendships with many newcomers and not so newcomers alike. It's a very beautiful thing to see. Unlike a lot of other traditions of Buddhism, these vertical relationships are supported, and Sangharakshita believes they are crucial to the movement. He also emphasized horizontal friendships, peers, friends, made here with people with the same level of experience, people that are on the same path as you, looking for the same kind of spiritual progress as you. Sometimes my spiritual friends are more inspired than me. Sometimes they're further along than me. And sometimes they're lagging behind me. But my spiritual friends are starting to mean everything to me. And that's where I'm hoping I will spend most of my spiritual life. That's where I'm hoping that most of my spiritual life will take place within the groupings of these horizontal friendships. When we engage in spiritual practice together, we are united by a common goal of finding meaning and purpose in our lives, and this creates a sense of solidarity, more so than any mere shared experience, shared interest, or hobby. Friendships in Triratna is everywhere. As Buddhists, we try to be warm and friendly with everyone. That is our practice. When I started to learn to meditate, I loved meditation, but I also loved the person who taught it to me. Two people, in fact, taught me to meditate the Triratna way, who are in many respects very together, very warm and friendly people. And even though meditation and what was happening to me during meditation was really significant and transformative for me, my relationships with the teachers had a big effect on me too. There are a lot of great qualities I could see in them that I was looking for to get in my own life. They are not enlightened beings, not by any means, but it was clear to me, at least, that they were about as close as anyone I'd met. There is something about seeing the qualities of the enlightened mind embodied in another person that communicates the Dharma much more than studying or personal practice. The order members taught me and the others in my class to really connect with the Dharma. And we got so much joy from learning from them. And I am, as many of us are, grateful to them for their time and energy. The more I practice, the more I understand that where the Buddha was coming from. When I look back over the last 3 years that I've been a practicing Buddhist, it's my friendships within the Buddhist community here that have taught me a lot about who I am and who I want to be. The people I engage with here keep me coming back to the cushion in meditation, keep me studying, keep me enthused, inspired, and searching for new ways to have a freer life. They bring me joy, more joy than I've ever experienced, more connection than I've ever known. And that is where the Buddha and Sangharakshita were coming from when they emphasized the importance of spiritual friendship, because it is the path to what is most beautiful of all, a friendship of the highest conceivable level. I used to quite enjoy an intoxicant or two, but not anymore. My involvement in Buddhism and with the Buddhist community here has stopped me needing them. In fact, I don't need very much of anything anymore, which is a nice change because for my first 50 years, very needy. While it's true, I do feel quite transformed from the person that walked in here 3 years ago. I believe it is the spiritual friends I've made in this community, the ones I study with, meditate with, go on retreat with, the ones I'm growing and flourishing with, and finally reaching my potential with, who are the reason for that. I tried in the beginning to do a lot of things, to do a lot of this on my own, and read and become more knowledgeable about Buddhism, but I realized that I'm not going to get very far on the Buddhist path and with my meditation unless I got involved with people with the same values. And so I got involved. The people that come here to the centre are an absolute mixed bag of licorice all sorts. Take a look at them. This is Newtown after all, but every single one of them is a rough diamond. And as we come together week after week, tumbling around as we grapple with the ideas and the Dharma, where we here in this space try and become better versions of ourselves. We're all in it together. We get vulnerable, we share, we stay in touch through the week via a WhatsApp group, and in so doing, little by little, we're smoothing out each other's rough edges, which isn't always easy, but it's always rewarding. So why did the Buddha say that spiritual friendship is the whole of the Buddha's life, the whole of the spiritual life? And why did Sangharakshita emphasize friendship so much in Triratna? I think it is because the qualities of being a good friend are enlightened qualities. One of the main ways I find myself doing this when I'm placing more importance on trying to be a friend rather than having a friend. That used to be very important to me, having a lot of friends. Now I focus on being a friend, which means being generous and kind and loving as much as I can, faithful, fearless, compassionate, empathetic, all qualities of the enlightened mind. My friends out there, my ordinary friends, my run-of-the-mill friends, are often quick to point out my flaws, my character defects. But the reason they're doing that can be multifaceted: to drag me down or to pull me back in line or to make themselves feel a bit better. Whatever, that's not important. My spiritual friends are much more interested in talking to me about my deeper tendencies. They do this because they're looking to see me improve as a person. When someone is so willing to help you look at yourself and help you realize all this clinging to self that you're doing, it's like they're holding up a mirror so you can see your own personality. At first it's really annoying, but eventually I feel the love and care for me they have in their hearts. I feel encouraged and appreciated by them. I feel valued and I feel inspired. The Buddha, the Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, and the Sangha, the Buddhist community, has given me something to look up to again. After leaving behind the religion of my youth, then being a fairly militant atheist for a while, finding something to look up to again and people to look up to again was like finding an oasis in the desert. I've now been given a gift, which seems to deepen the more I practice and the longer I'm in True Ratna. This ability to look up to friends I admire and to look out to other people and see where I can help them on their way forward, in whichever way I can, has given me new purpose. At the end of the day, True Ratna is a network of friendships that is seemingly all it is. There's a little hierarchy, but the only real structure it has is this: creating and building spiritual friendships, which I've seen firsthand in those that have been around here for decades, or to members whose friendships seem to last a lifetime. When I'm a friend to people in the Sangha, the Buddhist community, I have a responsibility at the same time to my Dharma practice, to stay practicing. I know that I will not regret further. I know that I will not progress further along the spiritual path unless I keep practicing with my spiritual friends. These guys help me want to practice more. Left to my own devices, who knows where I would be right now. Sangharajta said he literally would have gone mad if he hadn't have found Buddhism. I can't even think what would have happened to me. Turning up week after week, engaging with the Sangha, I mix with people who are actively trying to get the Dharma more ensconced in their lives. They offer me friendship, and these friendships have enabled me to make some courageous decisions in my life. Giving a Dharma talk and making the Dharma known to others keeps it alive. Learning the little bits that I have of it has put me on a completely different dimension of human experience that I believe I never would have had without it. Sharing the Dharma as I'm attempting to do today, hopefully will keep the Dharma alive a little longer. Today I have faced my fear in doing this talk. I was quite consumed with trying to protect an identity of being a good speaker and a smart Dharma practitioner, protecting an identity that was bound to shut up at any time anyway. I'm moving away from ego-driven, self-centered, drama-filled life and towards a purer and simpler one. Even though all of the images we see of the Buddha, he is alone. Under the Bodhi tree, alone. He became enlightened alone. But he did not get to that point alone. He was determined and single-minded, resolute that he would conquer himself as he strived towards his goal of seeing the truth. He did do many things alone, that's true. At the same time, he did it all with others. The bounties that keep coming from a spiritual life now appear ceaseless to me. Positive vertical friendships and horizontal ones keep building and developing as more people become friends of the order. I get to practice the precepts and put the practice into effect every day, and nothing at the moment is bringing me more joy. Communicating with my spiritual friends has changed my whole perspective on life and revived my life's energy. I'm focused and excited about the future, and I find myself consistently in the pursuit of the good. I now dwell on the wisdom of the Dharma. I think about impermanence and the rising and passing away nature of life. To become proficient at playing an instrument, you must set up the right conditions. Buy a piano, for example, get a teacher, practice, make mistakes, practice some more, do your scales over and over. You must keep turning up, keep applying yourself with sustained effort until the fruit comes. Those are the conditions you must put in place to see fruit. Same with friendship. Developing spiritual friendships has gotten me beyond my preferences, all of my likes and dislikes, because I finally realized how limiting they are. Sangharajta talked about the true nature, about the true individual. The true individual feels a great connection and empathy for others. Connection to others means to turn up, like you all did today. Turn up, join in the Sangha, even on Zoom. 3.5 years into this pandemic, and there's still a wonderful connection to be had in the Sangha and elsewhere through Zoom. And I'm so over Zoom, but I do feel grateful to be connected to you guys. And I really think I need to just get over my Zoom fatigue, because I'm very glad that it exists. Here at the center and in this Buddhist community that I am now involved, we can confess our faults and our weaknesses to one another. We can share our understanding with one another. We can rejoice in one another's merits. In these ways, we can make it a practice of spiritual friendship for us all. No one else can practice the Dharma for us. We have to practice it for ourselves, but we do not have to practice it by ourselves. We can practice it in the company of other like-minded people who are thinking to do the same. Spiritual friendship is a training in unselfishness and in egolessness. The development of spiritual friendship is very difficult. Leading a spiritual life is very difficult. Being a Buddhist is very difficult. We need help. We get that help not only from our teachers, but also from one another. In conclusion, encountering the Dharma has transformed my life, that's undeniable, but I've come to embrace it with a deep sense of love and devotion. Finding, building, developing and maintaining spiritual friendships with these blokes and gals and thems have made a crucial role in my journey, as they all have provided me with valuable support and encouragement along the path. The Dharma has taught me to face my fears and to sit with difficult emotions, allowing me to grow and become more integrated as a person. And I thank you all for listening to my first talk. Thank you.